All right. Cool, cool, cool. Let's see how things go this week. Let me send out some links as I usually do at the start before we get started. Just be a couple more minutes. Not even that, probably like 2 minutes. Well, a couple is two. What am I saying? Just be a little bit, and then I can start things up, and we can see how things go this week. Anybody who is already here, hello, how's it going? How you doing this week? If there's anything you want to kind of ask before the normal stream starts, go ahead. Just ask away every time. Uh, let's see. There's some stuff I definitely wanted to kind of further promote this week. Not like sell, but I'd say pitch with some of the manga that I've been really enjoying lately, and I'm hoping I can get some more people on board with it, and help it get some popularity that I think it deserves. That's one of the things I'm definitely trying to go for most. Other than like side or other than like the main stuff, talk about Fairy Tail, Eden Zero, Black Clover, and any of the big ones that people you really want to talk about with me that I really enjoy. I also really like to any small stuff that I think maybe you guys would like. Try and get people to taking a peek on that. I've got a couple of people to pick up Marygrave, which is where this background is coming from for this week that I'm using with all these cool monster designs. And I'm hoping that I can get some more people to pick it up. Have been doing reviews on it. I got to do a review on the last two chapters. Last two are pretty crazy, and hopefully get more people on board with it. I've been pushing that, and Memesis trying to get people with that. Unfortunately, whoever's translating Memesis is not nearly as consistent as the people doing Marygrave. Marygrave is coming out pretty regularly. 1 second. And I think that's definitely one of the better parts when it comes to Marygrave, as it is right now, because it is currently being translated fairly well. I think we're only like 7 or 8 chapters behind where the Japanese are, and I think we got like two this week. So we're homing down on it. We're homing in on that, which is pretty cool. I'm looking to definitely kind of get it to where maybe if it gains a little bit of internet fame, then maybe the some of the more one of the more talked about ones can start spreading, and then maybe it'll continue on, and then we could get more people into it, and then eventually get to that kind of popularity level where the chapter releases come regularly, like every week, like probably not like same day, like a lot of the really big shonen. What's up, Mercenary? But not maybe not some of the really big weekly stuff, but definitely something in the level where you're not as it is right now, where it's like 7 or 8 chapters behind. But it definitely looks like it is picking up some steam, which is good, and I'm really happy about that as well. Hmm. Real talk though, has anyone looked at this? What's up, Marygrave has been hype. Yeah, have you picked it up, Yoshi? I've been promoting it, doing reviews. I've got a couple people I know to check it out, and they've all seemed to really like it. The only complaint I have is some people in the flashback, like a little arc, but it's important, and it's not like it's a monthly size manga, so like a flashback in like 20 chapters, like a normal one. You could do that. You could read that pretty well, and even though it's like this is a long flashback arc, it's still not as it's not like if you were reading a monthly where it's just like this is gonna take forever, because that's like what, like 800 pages or something, I think. Usually a monthly's like 40, something like that, something like 800 pages. It's a bit rough, but that's like over a year and a half in real time. Mary Graves not even a year old. I think that and Nemesis both came out within this year, so they're still pretty fresh. I don't remember what magazine they come up from. One second, let me look that up. Mary Grave Manga. It's it's nothing out of the big stuff, but it's from whatever the same magazine that or the same magazine that Nemesis comes from, and I really like that too. I'm just looking at publisher Shonen Sunday. Oh, it's from Shonen Sunday. Maybe it is from one of the big ones, and I'm not smart enough to remember that. Weekly Shonen Sunday. Is Marygrave on their list right now? It is. Oh, so okay. I didn't see. I didn't pay enough attention to that. I know they've had some pretty big titles on there as well. So that's gonna be nice. One of my friends recently got me into 20th Century Boys, and they were talking about a little bit Shonen Magazine and Shonen Sunday, and I was like, hey, I reckon this is pretty sweet. I'm glad that I actually I can catch some names for once and really kind of get some good times with that. And I'm pretty happy when it comes to that kind of level of being able to actually pay attention to what I know what's going on. It's nice. It's good time. It's a good time, and it makes me very pleased. But Marygrave, I think, has a very strong start and then a pretty comfortable middle, and then it looks like now it's getting pretty crazy again right now. And it was funny because when I got one of my friends into it, he's like, how long is this part last? Because it's some of the hype is dying down. It's just getting too comfortable right now. It's too comfortable paced. And then like the last like two chapters had come out right before he had picked it up, and then he got caught up, and he's like, God damn, these are getting pretty wild again. And I like that aspect of it. It was showing like look how intense this world is right now. Look how like vicious it is, and then you saw what people who are able to escape that viciousness are able to live like. They're able to live in this very peaceful, happy environment, and then once you kind of lose like a small aspect of that comfort, it goes right back into the fire, and that was definitely something that made it a little bit more, made it feel a little bit more real. Hmm. Been wondering though, where exactly, uh, where exactly Black Clover is going to be going within the next couple chapters? Because I was talking about recently with the opening of this like gateway to hell, gateway to the underworld, that this potentially be Black Clover's equivalent to the Eclipse from Berserk. And obviously, when I say that, even if it's like it is its own like version, obviously there's not going to be a bunch of crazy. Yeah, the elves do look really cool. I really like the genie and then the frog, floating frog king guy. I think those are my favorite ones out of these designs. I think they're pretty cool. And then yeah, that elf dude does look really cool. And also the vampire guy. I think he's got like white bats. That's pretty intense. But where Black Clover could go, given that yeah, if it's its own version of the Eclipse, monsters, crazy stuff kind of comes out. Obviously, it's not gonna have tons like it's not gonna have like rape and like super graphic killings. Like there might be some characters that die, but I doubt anything like vicious and like gory like that. Just because, for those who don't know, obviously Tabata has talked about how he wants Black Clover to be like the shonen version of Berserk, and just like kind of like told a little bit differently. And there are aspects you can tell that you can compare them to Berserk, where he probably got some inspiration, probably like all these series kind of like making Dragon Ball references, and now Tabata's just making all these Berserk ones. And I think that could be Gwalter. How far do you think Vito and Final? I'm gonna put them at vice captain level right now, just because they're. I doubt they're gonna be as strong. Otherwise, why say, hey, we didn't get your bodies as strong as they're supposed to? Oh god, yeah, that genie. That's a brown skin genie, Walter. But with the potential, I'm putting eclipse in quotations. You could get more monsters, because one of the things Black Clover is doesn't have a lot of monsters. This could be kind of like that, because obviously Berserk before the eclipse, there wasn't nearly as like horrors and crazy scary stuff. It was mostly just people, and then you get occasionally a little bit of stuff, and then with the apostles. But then with Black Clover, you could get that as well, and then or just maybe instead of like the Dark Age, go into something like a merging of the Dark Age and Fantasia, where you have all these monsters out. But maybe you can do something like that, as well as bring in more. Because one of the things is now you can bring in stuff like demons, vampires, and all these other stuff that could easily be above the elves. Because one of the issues was like, well, how are we gonna get something above the elves? Are they just gonna show up? Well, no, they could come through this hell gate, and it would make sense. Like, why else would the humans and the elves team up? Okay, it's something that's beyond them, and it's something that maybe was scrubbed from history, so no one was ever tempted to undo it, or something. And that's only now that it's gonna get unleashed, and it would be a good way to kind of have that maybe not so much if it has to go off now, but something to come out later. I don't know. It's something that I've been thinking about recently, but nothing that's obviously for sure. Nothing that's got a whole lot we could speculate off of, other than to compare it to something else. Obviously, something that makes a bit of sense when you do, given what you know about Tabata and his love of stuff like Berserk and Yu Yu Hakusho, that it could make sense, but nothing concrete, nothing outrageous, nothing that really says like, yeah, for sure, we know this is gonna happen. And honestly, Tabata has. I know people like trying it compared like, oh, it's just like Super Shonen, like, oh, blah, it's not even good. Uh, try and call it predictable, but I don't think anybody really predicted some of the stuff that's happened this arc. They've done a lot of crazy stuff. One of the only things that I've kind of gotten for sure is like stuff on my wish list, but that was more of I hope these things happen. I hope and then they happen. It wasn't like I know these are gonna happen. It was just like it was just something I was kind of hoping for. Whereas something like Fauna and Vito coming back, I predicted that just because the layout we did know, and that's something we could get here as well. Whatever that thing is with the breast size, you can't see. Yeah, it's spooky, Gwal. Look at it. Look at its big spooky boob eyes and its big tooth piano like teeth grins. Real spooky. Definitely does not come off as a friendly creature. It's not. It's not friendly, and I only like things that are nice and friendly. Brings horrors to the mind. Hmm. I don't know. I'm out of all of them that I'm probably most curious about, it's that big, like Dark Souls looking dude in the back with the beard and the crown, and this dude sitting on a ball. Because he definitely is. You got the big like probably the I'm guess that the big dude in the way back is going to be the most powerful. He's going to be like some monster king or something, and then this ball dude is just kind of like, what is this design? Because you get like this weird elf with like a harp. He looks kind of like some form of ranger. He actually kind of reminds me of the blind archer from Berserk. You got this genie. You got a cat girl in the back. Spooky eyeball tit guy. You got a big like knight dude on a horse. That horse is pissed off. You got a demon, a vampire. You got this big frog dude floating, and with like the combination of him floating and the way he's got that big robe, he's probably some form of spellcaster. And then it's kind of hard to make out that big dude in the back, and then also this bald dude. Both of them are very weird. I'm curious to know if it's going to be an original creature that maybe it'll have something. Maybe it won't. It'll just be a creature within the series that's just never named. Or could it be something from some type of lore and culture that could kind of fit into the role? You know what I mean? That cat girl, I don't know. So that's a super cat-faced cat girl, like extreme cat-faced. You only get like one solid chick out of this whole group. At least you got the nice genie. At least you have the nice genie. I am very curious though about that vampire dude, just because the bats look white. I think it'd be really cool to have out like albino bats. I think that'd be pretty badass. And have like an albino vampire. I'm sure somebody's thought of that already, but regardless if they have or not, it's pretty cool idea. And if nobody's thought of it yet, dibs. Dibs if no one's thought of it yet. I'm just putting that out there. And it's definitely down the lines of what I would like to see. Just you could take the same thing, something like a vampire, very vampire-looking dude, but just tweak something about it very slightly like that, make him an albino, and I think that'd be pretty sick. Yeah, it's a little bit too furry there, Gwalter. I am curious to know which of these, because right now Marygrave is in a flashback arc, and I'm wondering how many of them are going to carry beyond this arc into the next one. Homura for waifu, agreed. I like Homura. Homura makes me think that she is like a carried over version of Starbiter Satsuki actually used in a ongoing series, which is fine with me. I like Satsuki, but I didn't think she could carry a series by herself, at least as the main character from what we got in the first chapter. Maybe it'll be different later on, or maybe it would have been different later on. And then with Homura, I think she could. She seems like a fun character. But obviously, we don't know a ton about her yet. Her power seems kind of cool. I'm wondering what her five sword forms will be. We got I'm guessing a speed one, and then a normal one, and then we'll probably get like an attack one, maybe a big defense, and then I don't know what the last one will be. Something like that. Kind of like working around, maybe trying to make a variant of Urza's fighting style in a way, but way more set to where it wasn't able just to pull stuff. I mean, Urza's armor and weapons, it wasn't like it was unbelievable. We knew how many like sets of armor and swords and all her different weapons and whatnot had pretty early on, so we knew there was gonna that she had a massive arsenal. It'd be cool though to have it kind of very small set to where it is right now, and I think that'll be good. I think that'll be nice to kind of get things going in regards to her character itself and to where the series is gonna kind of take that with her. You know what I mean? Hmm. But I don't know. I think they're cool. I'm wondering though, what or how long Sister is gonna kind of carry as being a boss, because I think that she's been reprogrammed or mind controlled, and she's not the actual one in charge. There's going to be somebody above her, some bigger character that we find out maybe at the end of the arc or whenever Sister gets defeated. I think at that point we'll see more over what's kind of going on and the whole kind of mystery of, well, the code that she has says that she's Sister, but her appearance and whatnot don't kind of carry with it. Why is Sister running a like mercenary group on some criminal planet? How does that work? Why isn't she instantly kind of like turning over to whoever sits on the captain seat of Eden Zero? You know what I mean? I think that's definitely something to kind of be very interesting without having to be some like deep rooted mystery. It's just kind of like, oh, we're curious. We want to find out. It'd be pretty cool. It's gonna, further lead into more stuff. Warren Shiki, yeah, I am worried about that as well. I'm wondering if it's whoever who's specifically holding the title of Demon King, or it is towards Ziggy. And what will Lamora do? And they find out Ziggy's been like deactivated for like 10 years, just sitting on a planet as a broken down robot. Like, what are you gonna do then? Are you gonna try and figure out a plan to go beat up his non-functioning self? Gonna go beat up a broken down robot or something? Very confusing in some aspects. But I actually am very, very intrigued by what Hiramashima said in that video. For those who have either watched the video or watched my review just kind of talking about it, which does have the link to the video in the description of Hiramashima going on about what he calls Mashima World, and it is the collection of his series. He didn't say anything about them being connected, just let what he called the total sum of what he's done, but also that he's got more stuff in the works, more content, and I'm very curious about that. I'm very curious to where that comment is going to lead us to as the readers and the consumers and the fans of his work. And obviously, out of them, I'm most excited for Fairy Tail. I would like there to be some form of continuation of one of his older stuff. Like I said, the guy who is doing the Happy spinoff did a series called Buster Keel, and I think he'd be perfect to pick up and kind of reboot and actually run forward the the series that he made earlier, like right before Fairy Tail, called Monster Soul, which is about all these monster people. This group called the Black Airs. I think they're pretty cool, and I liked their crew. None of them were, I would say, none of them were kind of like big standout, like very heavy, interesting characters, but they're all likable. Is the thing. They were all pretty much like, yeah, I enjoy them. I don't love any of them like that much, but they're fun. And that obviously though is because the series has only 2 volumes. I think it's only 2 volumes in, so you're only able to get a little bit out of it, which is it's just kind of weird because after the first volume or so, you kind of feel like oh cool, I'm getting into. Oh, what's up, Master Munster? Yeah, glad you're here on time. How's it going? And the thing about it is, after volume one of Monster Soul, the thing is with 2 volumes, unless it's a monthly, like I feel like it's pretty hard to kind of get. Actually, I think it might have been a monthly. I don't know, but with only 2 volumes, like unless you plan that out or it got canceled, it's really hard to kind of get that feel that it had because you had the first one, like okay, cool, I'm getting into stuff, and then in volume two of Monster Soul, it's like why is this over already? What happened? This like it kind of just ended. It was just one of those times it just ended. But my guess is he was doing it and then they said like, "Hey, we want you to do this fairy tale manga." And he's like, "Okay." Kind of like the manga Wang Tang Cheng, the Euro Hunter, which was done by the guy who was drawing or is now drawing Gambler's Parade. And I'm guessing with Gambler's Parade having probably a higher priority, higher paying position, and maybe the ratings of Wang Tang Chang weren't as great. He's just like, all right, I'm gonna wrap it up and get to that other one. So that's a little bit understandable in some categories, but I think that that guy would be really cool if after the Happy spinoff he did one on Monster Soul. I would definitely be down for that. I'd buy the issues when they come out. I'd read them. I'd be pretty happy, and then maybe connect it towards this kind of large scale universe that they could have with all of these series. The next Eden Zero chapter, it's probably just gonna be a. I'm gonna guess it's gonna be probably like 2/3 like fan service and comedy, and then like maybe some fights against some guards. Nothing kind of like big and wild, just kind of fun for uh, both comedy and juicy fan service. It will be good. I don't imagine it'd be hard to mess that up too much, but I think it'll be fun to get into and definitely a chapter that you'll enjoy reading. Just probably, I'm guessing though, not one that's going to be like, oh man, that was a thick chapter. I'm so happy. It'll just be like, that was good. I liked it. Can't wait for the next one to kind of, getting you ready for like the big stuff, that uh, the big things that really kind of grab your attention when you get one of those heavy arcs that are or heavy chapters that are just like, damn, stuff went down. I need to get to the next chapter now because that was pretty intense. And we've gotten that with Eden Zero on some of them. Obviously, we're still pretty early on, so it's a little bit harder to get that feel and be able to send it off constantly. But you know what I mean. It's definitely something that's like easy to follow, easy to kind of enjoy, and easy to really get towards. And I like that about Eden Zero. It has a really strong consistency, like Fairy Tail's been since it came back with the sequel. And honestly, all the side spin-off stuff has been pretty good too. My last stream, yeah, I missed you there too, Yoshi. My money's on Jalal, and let me go into some reasons why I think Jalal is going to win. And while I go over it, tell me who you think is going to win in the little chat box between Laxus and Jalal. Here's my reasoning. Jalal has, when it comes to it, when you compare kind of the characters that Jalal kind of is, when you see the fallout for someone like Seekheart, but kind of really just the third because if you've read the one Hiromashima's very original one shot Magician, the tattooed spellcaster guy is really how he was gonna make the main character, and then he went to Haru, and C kind of took that and carried over. And when you look at Magic Illusion, that was the guy's name from Magician, he was a kind of like a spellcaster trickster, and With Sieg, he was much more, the normal spellcaster. He had that magic sword, but he didn't seem like he had sword skills. It just seemed like he was much faster than the people he was fighting, and it seemed really easy for him to get in strikes. But for the most part, Sieg Hart always looked like a normal spellcaster, right? And Laxus is much more of a hand-to-hand fighter. He's much more of, a base close quarters combat kind of guy. He's a dragon slayer. It's just in their MO. It's just kind of how they operate. But when you look at Jalal, Jalal's got ranged, he's got mid range, he's got close range, he's got illusions, binding magic, he's got multiple elements, he can fly, he's got high speed magic, he can drop meteors, he's got I think I already said reflective magic. He's got all these crazy things, and then he had like little seeking attacks that we saw when he went up against Echinologia briefly. He's got his lightning swords, which obviously that's going to be detrimental if he uses it against Laxus. I don't think he's dumb enough to use those against the Lightning Dragon Slayer. I don't think Jalal is someone to kind of do that. When we had someone like Wall against Laxus, a little different. Maybe he never fought a Dragon Slayer before, so even though he probably knew of it, just the experience of, oh yeah, this doesn't work like this to them. Whereas Jalal has fought Dragon Slayers, he's fought Natsu, and he's fought Cobra, and I think it'll be really just a better spot for him when he goes up against Laxus. That he'll have a much larger variety of things he could do. He's got a much more dangerous arsenal, and he just seems like an all-around smarter fighter in a lot of aspects, and he just seems more powerful. When you saw when you saw his fight with Wall, it was like, okay, he's powerful. He's a little bit nerfed because of the demon barrier particles that are making it harder for him to fight. It's like, okay, yeah, it's they're weakening him a bit. But when you saw Jalal get pissed and Nineheart was just like sweating bullets, and Jalal's magic like completely covers the sky, and it's the middle of the day and it just looks like the night. He just seems so much more powerful. He's always just seemed way more powerful, as well as when you compare it to, like, obviously it's not up to date where it was, but at the time of when they fought Jura, Jalal was way faster. He was like so fast that Jura could barely keep up. And when he saw Senma, he was just like, "What the fuck? What is going on right now? Is this guy for real?" He was like sweating, freaking out. But he never got that with Laxus, and even with Laxus using his Lightning Dragon coat, it's he's able to keep up with him just fine. And he really just seemed like Laxus. I don't know. He doesn't seem like he could compete with Jalal whenever they're side by side comparing stuff that they've done. Could be different now. It's been a year. It's been a year since then. Maybe Jalal has been resting, enjoying himself now that he's not a fugitive. Maybe Laxus has been training way more. It could be. It could easily be different. The scales could have tipped heavily within the last year since the Albreth War happened. Could be, but I'm going with what right now we know and what kind of it was set before that. It'd be different if one of them kind of showed something crazy, before the fight. Then I'd say, okay, yeah, I don't know if this character right now is strong enough to compete against this guy after this thing happened. But right now we don't know how strong they are right now, and I feel like Jalal is all around more powerful than Laxus, and he's got so much better of an arsenal, as I said. Do I think we'll see Justice appear Arc? No. I think Justice will be actually. Justice might appear if so. I think maybe at the end of the arc, if someone like makes an escape and then maybe gets caught. There, I don't think he'll show up on the planet, because one thing we got to keep in mind is this planet's been like this for a while to at least get like a big reputation as like this criminal planet. So it's not like these guys are just gonna show up and like start arresting people, because otherwise, why haven't done that already? Why haven't they, just staged people to arrest guys off this planet? I think it would make more sense as it's like one of these ships is like, all right, we're leaving now, and they get a distance a planet from the planet, and then one of the like just as a ship gets them like a tractor beam pulls them in and arrests them. Maybe something like that. I don't think he's gonna show up. Maybe if it's just him and he's like on a undercover mission. But I would put more money on him not being in the arc than him being in the arc. That's just kind of what I'm going to go with for right now, as it is. But we'll see. We'll see how things kind of alter itself from now into a further point in the manga. Should be getting spoilers, I think, tomorrow. Either tomorrow, I'm guessing tomorrow or Thursday. Actually, I think Thursday because I think we're having an early week. There's already spoilers for One Piece and I think My Hero Academia and Black Clover. Though I didn't look at those ones because I don't want to spoil it. What do you think the final fights in the Elf reincarnation are going to be? Well, I imagine there's going to be like a big battle with like a lot of them against maybe like Licht or Patri or even Raya, but I still think they're going to lose. I think Asta's like big fight will probably be like him and Yuno against the elf that took over Rill. That's just kind of what my thing is because I think it'd be a better spot than him taking any of like the really big ones. And that is now, actually, was he one of the yeah, he was one of the what are they, the Council of Saphira or whatever it was called. He was one of those guys. And it would be pretty cool after, when we saw at the end of the Royal Knight exam when Yuno could go even firepower wise with Rill, and even though Rill wasn't a his magic wasn't centered around firepower. He's not a big boom kind of guy. He's a utility fighter. He's all about the fact that he can do so many things with his magic versus somebody like somebody like Fuego Leon, who's like a big offensive, just like assault, like huge attack guy. It'd be different if he tried to if you somehow matched him and be like, what the fuck? How is he so much more powerful than everybody else? This is ridiculous. But it's like, okay, him at max power can keep up with a very joyful and happy dude who's all about utility and variety. Okay, fair enough. To where I just think it would be a really cool kind of spot to put it at, and I think out of all the people to save, I think it'd be pretty nice. Also, anyone else see? Someone showed me. A couple people told me that you can see Dorothy. Dorothy got elved because at one point when all the elves are talking, you can see Dorothy with the witch hat on, right next to Patri, or on the opposite side, way down next to Patri. And it's pretty crazy. I didn't see that. It was real quiet, real subtle, and I like that bit. I like that it's definitely it was something that you had to look for, and I wasn't paying attention hard enough, but luckily people told me, and I appreciated that. It was pretty cool. Did Shiki leave Weiss? No, yeah, he said he was gonna stay outside. You think Lucy should get a Celestial Spirit King Stardust? Yes. So hold on, let me look for this real quick because here Mashima did I think it was a DLC suit for one of the Monster Hunter games, and it was very celestial style, and that could be perfect for. Let me try and find it. Let me see. Monster Hunter, Monster Hunter, Hero Mashima design. It was really cool. Let me put it on screen. Here it is. First thing that pops up. Okay. Let me show this to you guys. I think you'll think it's cool. I'm trying to look for a little bit bigger picture. If I can't find a bigger one, I'll just use this one. Probably just use this one. Yeah, I'll just use it. Fuck it. And I think Lucy needs to get all of the keys. And I was kind of annoyed at the end of the Albrecht arc. I was like, Lucy's only got 10 out of the 13 keys. Why doesn't she have all the keys? And then, but now we're at a spot where, well, no, she had 9 out of 13 keys. Sorry, she had 9 of the keys, and I was like, why doesn't she have? Why does not she had not reached the end game stuff for her? And then it's like, oh, okay, now we know that it wasn't end game stuff. There's still stuff that she can achieve now and get her key. She could get Aquarius's key back and then work towards getting the other keys. I don't know why Yukino even wants them anymore. She doesn't need them. She can just be like a receptionist. Here, let me put this right here. Look at this. Let me put there. You can see like the cool star style. See like the cool long sword. Probably wouldn't be a sword. I think her with it on would be more of a whip. Kind of like she's already got that star whip. It'd be cool to see it buffed, and it's kind of like how that looks. What do you think? Hiroshima did design that, and then I think it would be real nice to looking on one of the characters that we got. That's the in-game one. I couldn't find the one where it was directly like his drawing though. But this could, it'd be really cool if this was the star dress, the Celestial Spirit King star dress. Well, I guess this Celestial Spirit Queen in that aspect. And it'd be real neat to see Lucy when she gets to that big spot, because she's definitely getting there. She's definitely climbing the ladder. It wasn't until with the Grand Magic Games when you saw her go up against Flair, it was like, okay, sweet, she's getting somewhere now. She's able to stand up with these guys. It's getting great. And then obviously, once she got the star dress, it was a whole different story. Lucy was able to fight on her own very independently, and she actually got pretty strong. It was like, all right, nice. And then you see her go up against Brandish, and it was like, okay, cool. Even though Brandish is stronger, you can see like Lucy's developed like combat skills, and she's able to do stuff on her own even more. To where now she's an actual considerable threat. She's definitely a Wizard Saint level right now, and it's gonna be nice to see her kind of progressing. And when she gets to that like bigger spot down the line of when she's just like she could go down as a legendary character in her world, and I think that'd be pretty sick. I just saw that they're gonna have a Super Saiyan Blue Goku balloon in the, I'm guessing, the Thanksgiving parade. For real? That's crazy. I didn't expect that. That's gonna be interesting. That's good for them. Hmm. Let me lower this down. Let me lower this picture down so we can look back at that Marygrave greatness that's going on right now. I've been really happy with Marygrave. I just like the characters a lot too. They've had real solid, real solid feels in them with Sawyer, Rosalie. I enjoy them. I haven't had any problems with either characters. None of them really come off as annoying or rude or bad. They're just fun. They're very fun. They got cool powers. They got cool designs. You can fully understand why they do stuff, and you can get why they keep on going like they do. It just is a very comfortably set manga, but gets wild when it needs to get wild, and I like that about it. I think that's a very fun bit to Marygrave. And I've been getting a couple people to start it, and I'm hoping I could keep getting people to go towards it. Yeah, the twins are pretty cool. Galatea is pretty cool, and it was nice to kind of see how in the flashback everything led up to uh, that big painful point of where it's at now, and it's like, damn. Well, Sawyer will press on. He's a manly man, and he'll keep going. He'll keep doing what he's supposed to. And we like that about him. He's cool. He's a cool dude. Like Sawyer. I'm hoping that he eventually gets it done. Gets what it, resurrects his wife. But the series could keep going on beyond that, because there could be lots of other crazy stuff in this world. Lots of more boss, more cult stuff to do. And it's not like them getting together could end it. Maybe they could have a kid. Maybe because the kid is born of two immortals that he's like real powerful. It could be like August. It could be August. Yep, Marigrave's really good. Master Monster. You should check it out. It's pretty fun. Predicting that we'll see Fuego Leon by the end of the chapter. Yeah, Fuego Leon. Fuego Leon's cool. Vito or no, no. I mean, eventually the young Vito. I don't wouldn't put the young Vito against Marileon. Marileon's gonna maul him. He's gonna kick the shit out of him. Thing with Fauna, especially now that he's got Salamander. She does not. Neither of them are powerful enough to take those two on, unless somehow they kept all their strength. But even with that, we already know that Mary Leone is kind of a person of her own level, and then Fuego Leon having Salamander just kind of puts him. I'd say definitely above Fauna, because Fauna, if she ends up having the same style as the Fauna that she took over, then she'd be more of a support style character. She's much more of a heals, buffs, and whatnot, not a vicious style. Because the thing that made Fauna very attack heavy is not that she had like her natural spells were very strong. She had Salamander for firepower as well as the speed and defense and like durability of Mars's diamond magic, and that's where it kind of further pushed her as being as powerful as she was. 'Cause she was obviously strong, but when you see stuff like why is Mars as powerful as even though he's got his own like dangerous spells with his diamond magic, but he also has a phoenix robe, so in the middle of a fight, as long as he can get off, he can just heal himself and get him like get his stamina back up and then be good. That's the thing that makes him really, I think, a huge threat is the fact that he has that Phoenix robe, and obviously in their world, a very offensive fighter who can cast Phoenix robe on himself definitely it's like that's a little bit unfair, but that's what makes him special. Like he has a power that could make him a shonen like main character because the main characters always have they always have some unique trait that makes them stand out because it's just a fun thing to see the main character have their own like little thing, regardless if it's some big turnaround thing or it's something kind of minuscule that they kind of just they got because they're the main character. Because you're seeing it from their perspective, they have to have something special about them. Otherwise, why are you seeing it from them? Unless it's their power or a position of who they are, then really why would you be viewing the series from their point of view? And Mars could definitely have that with his strong defense and offense with his diamond magic, and then his self healing with Phoenix Robe. Let's see. You think they'll ever see someone get a plasma sword? Blackletter? Yeah, probably. Probably get something crazy like a plasma mage because if you've read Tobata's previous work that he tried, and it was so you could I think it's only like 15, 16 chapters. I think he got canceled unfortunately. Hungry Joker, like all the characters were very science based, and the main character was actually a scientist. So I would say he's definitely smart. I mean, I wouldn't put him past him to put a character who like explains how plasma works, and then it's a plasma sword or a plasma mage, something wild like that that really kind of makes them go crazy like that. Hmm. One second. Sorry, I was responding to something. Anyway, yeah, the Diamond King. I think we're gonna go to the Diamond Kingdom next. I think they're gonna. I still say they're gonna have to retreat. They're gonna have to pull out after this arc and go towards a different kingdom. Try and get some help, some recovery, and get back on kind of the swing of things. And I just don't see the Clover winning this arc. It just doesn't seem possible. And it doesn't seem like it could go their way in any aspect, unless somehow Licht, betrays them, because he's already like so powerful, and you have all these big shots all in one area. So what are they really gonna do to counteract like how strong they're? And they're on like what half captains now? Because Nozzle's down, Marileona is down, uh, Charlotte's still over, Rills is over, Dorothy is over. Jesus. Well, they got Goldry back, but I don't know if he's going to really help them. Goldry is kind of a wild card in the whole mix. I don't know whether or not he's going to, uh, kind of be a kind of wrench in the whole thing, or he just kind of escaped, and then we'll see him way later down the line kind of be relevant. Maybe he'll show up at the end. Wonder if we'll see Sephiroth. Maybe that's it'll have something to do with like deeper elf lore. Hmm. She perhaps at least the first one. I said the second one she get a new celestial spirit and then restart her so we get an reveal celestial. I'm wondering if they're gonna ever have any other kinds of constellation spirits or like zodiac, like that they brought in the Chinese zodiac. That'd be really cool if they had that aspect to it. They brought in all the is it 10 or 12? Yeah, it's 12. What am I talking about? 12 zodiacs. I'm trying to think of. What's funny is whenever I think of the Chinese zodiac, my reference is always the Jackie Chan cartoon. Looking him up again. That's like my go-to reference every time. Is I think of the Jackie Chan cartoon. I think that's kind of a little bit old here, just a little bit. That'd be nice to see something crazy like that, where it really kind of like God characters. Hmm. The separate thing is it's pretty cool, but with Lucy, I hope that she gets. I hope that she gets more keys. I don't want her to, and when the inevitable actual end of the series comes, I don't want her not to have all the keys. Because we could get, because imagine what it's going to be like when she gets that, God, I don't know how to pronounce the snake charmer. Oh, hmm, big snake boy, 13 key. I don't know how to pronounce that one. That's like the only one that I can't pronounce out of the 13 celestial zodiacs. That one with the starters, because we know that one is a cut above the rest. It's much more powerful. Where we could kind of get like, okay, it's gonna have the Pisces dress. She's gonna have water manipulation in a different way, not the same as Aquarius. And then with Libra, she's gonna have a gravity manipulation, which I think would be really cool once we get to like Lucy with gravity manipulation is gonna be sick. And then Big Snaky Boy is they never really got much of a power uh, from that one, but I remember. God, I'm trying to think of what that we got from the Eclipse spirits because I don't think their powers were well. I don't need to compare the Eclipse spirit powers to the actual ones. I don't think that'll be a very viable thing to do. I mean, let me look to see if anything. I don't remember anything. It might have been something from a. So I don't think she's ever been. I don't think Yukino ever summoned her outside of the Grand Magic Games. Let me see. I'm just looking it up real quick. I don't. Heart, hello. How's it going? How's it going, buddy? How are you? How are you today? I hope you're having a swell day and having a much appreciated time. I appreciate you. I just want to put that out there. Yeah, I don't. I think. I'm trying to look how to pronounce it. Oh, Ophiuchus. Ophiuchus. Trying to think out of. I don't think it's ever been. I don't think it's ever been given any form of powers, and I think it was only summoned the one time. I mean, I'm looking. I don't think it was ever summoned again. Yeah, it was only summoned the one time. That's weird. I think that's weird that she was only ever used once. And then we got the weird nurse one, the version from the Eclipse arc in the anime, and then it doesn't look like a snake. It looked more like a giant centipede monster, which is cool. And then I remember they're having like an energy blast. I'm like looking at yeah, nothing kind of crazy. And they had like a little dimension. Oh, that's cool. I don't remember that. And then what could that really give Lucy? And then you could solve two birds with one stone by this giving her the black key and then Stardress. Then I'm like, okay, now we don't have to really ever display what the snake's power is because you can just say, oh, Lucy's got it. Yeah, it's that power. Cool, fantastic. I think Toka may have a secondary personality to protect stuff. I think she's just manipulating people. I think because she knew that was gonna happen, that maybe someone would come to help her. Maybe she was kind of like trying to save cover and keep things over. There are 13 golden keys correct. So what about the lesser keys? No, there's 12, and then there's because the 13th one is black. It's a black key. I remember, hang on, was it golden and the snake was black? I think I'm gonna look it up. I'm looking at the chapter. I think it was what two. It was on the day everyone was doing vets, so it's probably what like 280. Yeah, 280. Da, 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 da. Let's see. Yeah, it was black, and then the anime made it gold for some reason. It was just supposed to be black. Finally, she can summon all of her celestial spirits at once, including the celestial spirit king, infused her stardust. Yeah, so there's a really cool picture that I've seen. Someone's fan art. It's like she has all the keys floating around her, and then she's holding the black key. That'd be really cool. I want to see like Lucy when she's got all of them, and like how powerful she's gonna be. Because like, I'm guessing nobody knows anything about somebody have all of them. Because even though we remember her mom having, I think she had 12. I don't think she had all 12 at one point. I don't think that. Uh, I don't think that she ever had 12. Like, did Layla ever have 12? I don't think so. I don't think she ever had 13 though for sure. I think the black key was always kind of a very mysterious thing. And you think that with that Yukino would be more impressive. Poor gal. Hmm. Poor Yukino. I was just like rereading that chapter and be like, damn bitch, you got wrecked. Why did you do that? What a goober. Hmm. It's very unfortunate for her. It's just my phone is because every single time I write, much becomes red. No one's. I don't know. I think that's the annoying YouTube thing. It's a living hell waiting for more Jujutsu Kaisen chapters. Yeah, it's a bit rough. If its popularity picks up, then we'll get more of it, and it should be happening. I don't know if it's gotten a English release yet. At least not yet. I'm not sure. Hmm? I don't think so. I think Kimetsu no Yaiba just started to get one not too long ago. I think there are a couple volumes out. So probably earlier this year it started. It was probably already like it's probably already like 100 almost or close to 100 at. So it's nothing like nothing outrageous. But Jujutsu Kaisen will come in time. I think it'll pick up. I think the very serious tone in the shonen will uh, make it make it a little bit more recognizable. 'Cause obviously, I enjoy most like battle like weekly shonen battle mangas. I think they're usually pretty fun, but I think Jujutsu Kaisen stands out a bit just because of that kind of like roughness that it has. That just like rough feel that you get while you read it, and you're just like, I don't know how many characters are gonna die, but definitely a lot of them are gonna get real sad. They're just gonna get real depressed. Duh. Let's see. Was it ever explained how Urza got new swords? What do you mean? Oh, do you just mean swords? No, she shops. She just literally goes and she finds weapons and then she puts it in her pocket dimension. Either that or she has like stuff made for her. She obviously has a very like for Heart Cruise. So she probably goes to wherever his shop is. I forgot about Orient. I'll have to check it out again. I hope the Eden's ship turned into a Mega Sword. That'd be sick. I like that. I really like that the Eden Zero like little symbol looks a lot like Mardgear's face in his Aetherius form. Because those who don't know, I'm a big fan of Mardgear. I always really liked Mardgear. I thought he was really cool. It was a shame to see him go, and I hate that Nineheart never brought him. I never got to see him come back for one panel with someone like Nineheart around. He even faced Natsu, and I was like, yes. Even if Natsu just one shots him when they fight, just to see Mark Gear again will make me happy. And I didn't even get that. I didn't even get one bit of Mark Gear. It was it's so depressing. Made me so bummed out, you know. I hope in Zero Ship turned into yeah, I already read that. Yeah, that Orient one. Actually, that's a good point. I didn't even think about that. Jujutsu Kaisen does kind of feel like Yu Yu Hakusho. I honestly never thought about that. It's a really good kind of comparison of the two. I might be able to get some people. I might be able to get some people to start it purely based off that because I know how much they like, how much they enjoy Yu Yu Hakusho. I'm gonna take note of that. 1 second. Okay, cool. I took note of that. Hmm. A Clash profile on a Tem? Jesus. I mean, that'd be kind of ridiculous. What would I even talk about? Hey, this guy's a living god. He controls the gods of Earth, heaven, and the sun, and he can manipulate time, space, and fate. He can control a multiversal god, and he's gone beyond infinity. Like it's just gonna be like Jesus. I mean, probably at some point, but it's just gonna be me talking about how absurd his power level stuff is. Like Yugi has a lot. Yugi and Tem, like they have a lot of crazy power level stuff. A lot of Yu-Gi-Oh really honestly has like insane power level feats. Like just like Jaden being able to fuse dimensions. The second form of Excel synchro summoning, blowing up stars, just like stuff like that was pretty wicked, really. Pretty crazy if you ask me. Hmm. From Sinbad from Magi, I have to finish Magi. I enjoyed it a lot before the first time skip, and then the time skip happened, and I was like, it's still enjoyable. I'm having fun. And like Sinbad, or not Sinbad, Alibaba started to become the main character, and I was like, all right, this is fine. And then after that, it got kind of weird. I didn't like the flashback arc. I didn't like the flashback arc, and then it got really weird, and it went from like Aladdin like setting to the Jetsons. It was real weird when it was like President Sinbad. I've someone has been come to you over the hovercraft. Like what? Why? Why change the tone of the series and like the setting so heavily all of a sudden? I didn't like that at all. If you watch a Death Battle, wait, do you watch Death Battle? If you do, Natsu beat Ace and Sword Beater. Yeah, that was goofy. Because Natsu versus Ace isn't a fight. Ace has absolutely no chance. There's literally nothing Ace can do against Natsu. Because you can tell when the death battle people know what they're talking about. You can tell when they're like, oh yeah, when they're like talking about Berserk and they're like, talking about guts and stuff. You're like, okay, you can tell these guys, at least one of them, Boomstick or whatever. Yeah, the guy who does like the redneck character. You can tell that he's read Berserk, and probably the other guy too. But you can neither of them have known shit about Fairy Tail. Like they called Natsu a magic bounty hunter. I mean, yeah, they're horrible. And they don't bring up one of the largest things about Natsu versus Ace that people don't realize is Dragon Slayers can grab their own element as if it was solid. Like Natsu's physically grabbed fire. So Ace's whole elemental body of being able to turn into fire to, dodge attacks and let normal physical attacks go right through him, it's not going to do shit. It's going to do nothing to him. So really, what's he going to do? Yeah, the Toph versus Scar. Oh my god. But like Urza and Zoro, ridiculous, especially when you see like they used anime versions of feats and then they used Urza up to halfway in the Tartarus arc, and it was
at the time of it was like 500 and no, yeah, it was like chapter 500 I think or so, and yet they only used up to like 360. I don't know why they did that. I was really confused about that. It made no sense. It was stupid. Have you seen the? No, I haven't seen the new volume cover from My Academia. I have to look it up. Yeah, and Toph versus Gara. The thing about Toph versus Gara is their logic made sense. How it worked, it made sense. It's like, okay, Toph has a lot more delicate control over sand. Okay, she's able to apparently see sand that's in the air, which doesn't connect to the ground, which doesn't make a lot of sense in the way that you know how like seeing through vibrations work. I don't know. Maybe she can learn to do it via slight like rock in the air, like how it bounces off like solid floating rock. I don't know. The way that they described it makes sense, but the way that it didn't make sense if you compared how powerful Gara is to how powerful Toph is. It's like, okay, water beats fire generally in Pokemon, but a level 20 Krabby is not going to do shit to a level 80 Moltres. It's not going to happen. If they're the same level, like, okay, yeah, he's got the clear advantage. It's just going to come down to like how they fight at that point. But strategy at that point, when there's such a huge gap, like Gara being able to smother nuclear blasts from Daidara, it's like, what is Toph has never been able to. Like, the greatest thing Toph ever did was be able to hold up that castle, which is impressive, yeah, but geez, what is she can't control the level and volume of sand that Gar is going to be able to bring upon her, as well as he's way faster. I always thought that because like it's really silly when it comes to some of death, but and like the next one they're doing Jiraiya versus Master Roshi. Why? Why? Why are they doing that? Didn't Master Roshi wasn't he like blowing up mountains like casually like way back then, and now he has like he gets a slight amount of Ultra Instinct. So like, what is Jiraiya gonna do? The only thing I could really see with Jiraiya is if Jiraiya pulls way back, drops Frog Song, and then just like I don't know, goes up and stabs Roshi in the throat or something. Roshi just seems way too powerful, way too fast. This is kind of goofy. Which more developing do you think Salamander has to do? I think Salamander will be. I think it's like Celestial Spirits and Fairy Tail. It's very proportionate to the owner. It doesn't. It's not like a set level. I think it's all dependent on who it's kind of linked up to. And I think that'll be a large factor because just like Hibbs, because when you see Salamander, right, when we see Fauna show up, it's like an iguana, and then like, but with but with frickin' when Fuego Leon first gets it, it's already like it looks like a freaking size of a gargoyle. It's pretty big, intimidating. He's able to use it to a much larger degree. I think it really depends on how powerful the character is, but also maybe like has to do with because he's a very offensive style spirit that it has to be a very offensive style fighter. And Fuego Leon, who's a very combat like attack style person, like obviously it would make more sense to be with them. Just like how with Sylph is a wind spirit, probably more range and a little bit more mobility in the way that she is, would have to do more with a mobile style kind of character, kind of like where Yuno is more versatility, more variety. I am looking forward to because I the chapters tonight. I think the chapters come out tonight, and I won't spoil things, but One Piece looks like it's gonna be pretty good, which is pretty nice after the way that the first act of Wano ended. Natsu should get a Hellfire mode. That'd be pretty cool. I'm still hoping that we see some of Ethereus Natsu. I would like that to come back. Otherwise, maybe like I said, like maybe the Ethereus portion of Natsu got separated and it became its own character. But I would like to see a comeback from it because then you could get past any issues like okay these magic sealing cuffs like okay curse power bam breaks out of it cuts them. We saw that when Kyoko was put in them. Kyoko kind of just like played it for a second because I think Kyoko was smart enough to know that she couldn't take Natsu, Urza, and Lizana by herself. So she waited for them to separate, broke out of them, went after Urza. And so if Natsu is able to use his curse power, then bam, you could do that, and it will really be able to make him a lot more powerful in that aspect because where we know that when a wizard runs out of magic like straight to zero, it's very deadly for them because their body runs heavily off of magic. So getting off that vital piece of like their whole physiology and how it runs is very dangerous for them. But with curse power, you run out of magic, you still got curse power. So you got a secondary kind of source that isn't even linked to the same one, as well as it would make him a lot more useful when it comes to maybe anyone with magic kind of canceling stuff like wave or as I said the magic sealing stone, because the magic sealing stone is actually very different, I've noticed, from than compared to something like I see people compare it to sea stone from One Piece, which is kind of goofy. The only thing really that I kind of like look at it is if you just add the L to sea stone, it becomes seal stone. But it's all it is hey, I have a thing that can cancel out your powers. Okay, like it's not original. Like I mean, really, you wanna try and go for what came first. Like where's kryptonite? And I bet there's stuff way beyond that that I don't know about. Like all it is like thing that seals up someone's powers. It's a power cancer. Well, the difference though between I noticed between sea stone and seal stone is that seal stone only works when you're cuffed from the inside because we've seen magic work on it from the outside. So I'm guessing because of the way that they always have that mark on it where it looks kind of like a cut oval that has something to do with it, so it's working from in it. Like how kind of like how Freed's runes work. So maybe you have more to that. Whereas like Sea Stone is way just more like okay, yeah, it's the thing itself. It doesn't matter if you're touching it from the outside or it's been stabbed into you or someone's got against your forehead. Someone just hit you with a rock that's made out of it. That it's a little bit different. It's just a kind of a variation of itself, and it's nice to see things kind of get that a standard like that. I think it's fun. I like it when things get kind of a kind of staple piece. We didn't really have that in. Well, we kind of have it in Black Clover. It's more of just like some characters have binding magic that does that already, but nothing seemingly like, hey, here's a thing that kind of completely cancels out your power. Other than Asta, and Asta though himself is just like straight up like right there. I feel like this arc has really shown how powerful the vice captains are. Like, yeah, a lot of the characters have got to be have a lot of really good points in this. Whose magic is Toka gonna steal? Next, I can see her stealing Jalal and Laxus's stuff right at the end of this and kind of take him out. But I would like that not to happen because I like Jalal. I think Jalal is really cool. Oh, what was I saying? Oh yeah, so I really wish that I really wish that Oda would follow Tabata in this aspect because it's like okay, he takes something like Dressrosa. That thing was 100 and something chapters. Don't spread out character pieces the way he did it, where it's like, okay, this chapter I'm gonna get 3 pages of Nami, 2 pages of Usopp, three of Zoro, 5 of Luffy, and 1 of Sanji. Okay, make it 2 to 3 chapters of one of them, and then just move on. Move on to the next character. Okay, here's their fight. It doesn't have to be even two. It could just be 1 chapter. Just make it so they get their own moment. You get a cool time to be them, not just like where you have to really kind of get that whole same feel is to go to each of these chapters and then open image a new tab and then read them that way to where it's like okay, now I can actually read this fight normally. And that's one of the things I wish Oda would fix. He used to be fine about it. He used to do it the normal way. Like that's just one of those things where it's a very standard way about going with fights, but people like it that way. That's how people would prefer it. I like to see Itachi versus Seraph and how powerful is Natsu and Great Fusion. Natsu and Great Fusion would be weird. But Zeref versus Itachi, Zeref just based off of the fact he's immortal and he has such a bigger arsenal than Itachi. Though Itachi is pretty cool too. I don't think he's even close to as powerful as Zeref. It's like Zeref, like, hey, 400 years I studied and learned living magic and made tens of thousands of demons, all with like really OP hacks abilities and are all extremely dangerous by themselves. And then I also have a continent that I run with all these insane kind of characters. Like I got someone who's like merged with a time goddess. We got a big sage dragon and a freaking robot man. Like you get all this crazy stuff. Like Itachi's pretty cool, but like the amount of versatility and variety that Zeref has is just pretty outrageous. Hmm. I do like I do like a lot of those designs. I didn't. I have to. I think a new chapter of Borta actually comes out like next week. I think the manga follows a lot better kind of read if it just wasn't so freaking slow in release. I don't like reading stuff that switched from regular like weekly into monthly. Something could be a monthly, and then it's like, okay, that's a monthly. All right, you read it and it has that monthly tone. But something like Boruto, I don't think it should be a monthly because usually when stuff is set as a weekly, it has its own kind of tone and feel to it, so it just kind of feels much more nicely going. It doesn't feel the same when you read Boruto or Dragon Ball after a month wait, and then it's like, okay, the chapter's over. But I guess I'll wait another month. It I don't know. It's one of those weird things where it's a little bit harder to explain, but just kind of tone itself and that kind of vibe you get while going through it has a little bit different appeal to it. But I still like it. I still like it. The Dragon Ball Super Dragon Ball Super manga is actually about to enter a really cool arc, seemingly cool, not guaranteed, of like this galactic prison break. I don't know if anyone's seen the chapter that came out I think today, and the information from it at the very end, as well as the villain's design. He looks like a big like space goat man, and I wonder how powerful he's gonna be. Maybe he'll be more of like a strategist style person instead of just a powerful guy. I'd rather see that after all these like, oh my god, he's so powerful. What are they gonna do? It's just like I'd rather be like, this guy's really smart. He's really clever, and he just keeps setting up all these things you guys are walking into. Do you think Natsu were to master Dragon Force skills, he gets to be the same effects as real Dragon skills? Yeah, that'd be cool. I want to see. I really want to see like Natsu in his prime, and when he gets to that crazy state, when he's just so intense. Hmm. Huh. I don't know. I look forward to seeing how things are gonna go. Because I don't hear Mashima said he's got more stuff on the way. He didn't give us any information on it, but definitely keep your eye out. All right, I think this stream is getting closer and closer to a nice ending point. We'll go over a little bit more and then close it off. I didn't talk about My Hero Academia yet or Gambler's Parade. I've been super into Gambler's Parade recently. Super fun. I recommend Gambler's Parade to anybody. I was right about what was gonna happen, but I wasn't right about how it happened with this. What was it, I think chapter 6? How things went down, how this like the stakes just went right up with how like each dude's crew between Commode and Slash are both now like in things. They're both in the whole oxygen roulette. And like I said, I was like, okay, the stakes are gonna get bigger. The stakes are gonna get bigger. I don't think he's gonna want to play such a low cost game. And then it was actually just he's just like, this game sucks. I don't want to play this. It's purely based off of luck and not off skill and strategy. This is dumb. And then you see like Slash crying, which I thought was funny. But then you see like all their crews go in rooms connected to how much oxygen the people representing are gonna get, and it's like, oh damn, so now almost everybody's gonna die if they lose. I don't think that Actually, I don't even know because I was like, I don't know if Komodo's gonna let him die, even if he loses. But then I'm like, at the end of the first one, when he walked out of that room, didn't he throw a bomb or leave it in there? Those guys, I don't know if they died or not. It could have just be anime shenanigans. But as far as I know, those dudes exploded and are not coming back. See, he despises gambling and gamblers to like a bloody hate state. So it's within the possibility of things that he killed them. We don't know though. Like he seemed happy. He was really happy about it too, actually, when he walked out of there. So it could be the case. What do you think would win the fight between Atsu and Mashima? What? Well, I mean, Mashima doesn't have any superpowers. Let me see. Doesn't Itachi have a sword that can steal anything? Do you think Rebecca can do her types of guns? Yeah, but Zeref can fucking rewind time to before shit happens to him. Like he's just gonna go. Okay, yeah, that was a nice sealing technique he did. Or he can, and Zeref can also stop time, and he can like soul rip. He could teleport. Like he's got so much stuff, and he should be able to. So Zeref should be able to do every single black magic in this series because we know that was one of his things is he mastered all the black magics. So any of the one that we've seen, even if he hasn't shown to use it, just by the fact that he's known to know them all, he should be able to use it. So he would be able just to kind of look at Itachi and then use like something like the virus black magic that Mary had, and then just put the brain virus deteriorate his head, even while he's in his Susanoo armor. They're just kind of crazy. He's so OP. How much a boost do you think being elfed gives a regular knight? I think it depends. I think it depends entirely on what elf you get. I think it entirely depends on like how big of a deal the elves that kind of go into your body are. Oh, sorry, I said it out of nowhere yawn, and I had to I muted myself so you guys didn't have to hear me yawn all aggressively into my mic. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, Zeref should be faster, though. I don't like to argue speed debates because they're kind of boring, and speed debates kind of usually just they go very poorly amongst groups. I don't think speed debates ever are ever that civil. Like you can compare power stuff pretty easy. You can look at the size of the damage, you can look at how it was done, and figure things out pretty easy. But speed stuff just becomes such a hassle to kind of argue. It becomes silly. But yeah, mercenary. So there in Rave Master. There's a part where Hiramashima is in his series. They go to like this village, and it's all these people are really small. They're like midgets, and Hiramashima is one of the characters, and he's writing a comic about the adventures that Haru is going through that he has heard like tales of, and he's like, oh, I'm gonna illustrate that and sell it, and and he just sits in his room and he works. I thought that was a really funny chapter, kind of a real goofy way to put yourself in the manga, but still being like, yeah, that was pretty funny. I like that. I like what you did there, fella. But I think something I will look forward to eventually is a team up of Haru, Shiki, and Natsu. If it comes down to a if it comes down to a canon crossover, right? And it's like, okay, I'm gonna now he's calling it the Mashima World, his collective works. It's like, okay, now I'm going to put them all officially in the same universe, or connect it through a multiverse to where they're all together, and it's like, okay, they're all gonna be with each other. Then I would want it to be something like, okay, teaming up, maybe Haru and Natsu kind of got weakened somehow by a villain, and it's like, okay, we can only use so much percentage of their power so they can scale down to Shiki, or it would have to be way later to where Shiki's actually strong enough to compete with them. But if it's not, and it's just like, oh yeah, it's a fun crossover, you know, don't pay any attention to how it works, then it's like, okay, yeah, let them do whatever the hell they want. You don't have to worry about stuff at that point. It's like the Toriko One Piece Dragon Ball crossover. It's like how is how is Zoro competing with how is Zoro able to compete with people like Vegeta and Zebra? It's like, no, no, they wouldn't be standing there. At least Vegeta at the time wasn't as powerful as he is now, so Zebra was actually like closer to being a threat to him. So where it's like, okay, them messing around like Zebra to base Vegeta, okay, yeah. But Zoro at all, Zoro, they do that first like attack clash and Zoro would die. You're like, no, what did you do? Why did you do these things? What's going on here? Yeah, to stop a planetary threat, that'd be cool. And then you could put like Natsu, Haru, and Shiki like all in their primes battling it out. That'd be sick and be nice. And then they got their own styles to them. You got Haru, the guy who's like a utility fighter. You got Natsu, like the assault, like straight, like hand, like face in combat brawler, and you got Shiki, the mobile kind of fighter. I think it'd be pretty cool. Apache, this bond covers Oni from Street Fighter. I don't know how powerful Oni is though. Is he as powerful as Kenpachi? I don't know. Anyway, I'm gonna wrap this up. If you guys got any more questions, drop them in the chat. like the stream, check out my other videos if you haven't yet, and if you got any people here that aren't subscribed to the channel, I would appreciate if you would subscribe. That'd be really cool. It's always appreciated when people come to the channel and click that subscription button and hang out and see, especially when it comes to the streams and we can all converse about whatever we kind of really feel like it. One is possibly mood level depending on the skill. Well, Acnologia was a actual. The thing about it is Acnologia was a. I think he's a bigger threat than any of the characters Hiroshima has made so far. Obviously, the chronophage is well. Yeah, let me backtrack that. The chronophage or time meter or whatever seems powerful, but as far as we know, he doesn't hurt people. He just kind of eats time and like pulls it back to where I mean, I guess your like characters would be unborn, but then they would just be reborn. So it's not really a damaged character. Still a huge ass monster. We don't know if it actually is more of a environmental like cosmic issue versus like if it was actually like it's a giant planet-sized dragon, it could just swipe its hand and destroy a planet. I would say the strongest actually backtracking are Mother and Unc Salam. Yeah, Mother, who we don't know what exactly Mother is, how like powerful is. We know and Fairy Tale Ung Slum is the god of life and death, and he's able to like drop immortality like death radiating curses on people. I'm just gonna assume he's a god versus Kronos, who seems more like a deity, kind of like the war gods of Yakuma, and with Ankh Salam and Mother, they'll be like actual like big cosmic beings, and that'll be pretty cool with them. But other than that, I'd put Acnologia on there. I think Acnologia is definitely stronger than the Endless. And I think Acnologia would just eat the Endless because like the whole thing like okay, Etherion could kill the Endless. You have some crazy time space creation magic and hit Ether hit Endless with enough and it's going to destroy it. Whereas Acnologia was sucked into a gap between time space created via a tear in it because of time travel and he ate the dimension and then punched a hole in reality and came out. Like he would eat endless, and I think aside from I had to backtrack and say like Og Salam and Mother. Aside from them, I'd say Acnologia is the strongest character in the Mashima world, at least as of right now. We could easily change that uh in frickin' Eden Zero uh, with crazy cosmic beings. It would be really cool, actually. Oh, what's up, Andres? We're just talking. If people are, how is it when I was like, I don't know, maybe I might wrap it up. People are shut up. I mean, if it's still going and people are still shut up, then we can, stay here and keep chatting. But it could keep going. Actually, I had a theory of what if the chronophage was Acnologia? Like, obviously he was destroyed in that time gap. But what if, the way he died, in quotes, died in that gap between time, he became a time dragon and then he's the chronophage that we saw in Eden Zero. Because the thing about it that'd be really easy for Hiro Mashima to connect this series is Fairy Tail, Eden Zero, and Rave Master all exist on the same type of calendar, right? It's X and then three numbers. And then assuming they go the same style as Rave Master, once they hit 999, they reset. And I think I think Rave Master starts at like 051 and Fairy Tail starts at 784, and I believe Eden Zero is 492 in their calendar years. So it'd be easy to connect them all, especially with the chronophage. You could just put them all in the same point in time. Like I don't know, what if somehow stellar memory the hero goes to mess with stellar memories, bam, it puts them somewhere. Natsu goes to a celestial spirit world and crew, and it's like one of them, and then frickin' Shiki and them travel to a planet, and then a chronophage like messes with it. So they all end up on a planet together and all at the same time. I think it'd be pretty cool. Do you think that we'll see Guild full of Dragoners strong as a three-man team? Now, yeah. I am wondering if where these three rank in Diablos. I believe that they are in the middle. My guess is they're middle. They're going to be right in that spot. There's going to be people below them, but then they aren't going to be like the big guys of the guild. There's going to be like the members that have like a name, like a title, kind of like we had the seven kin of purgatory for Grimoire Heart or the Nine Demon Gates for Tartarus, or the Spriggan 12 for the Albreth Empire. There'll be a group within Diablos that they're their own menacing group, and that's gonna be the ones above these guys. Maybe they're the strongest right before that group, and then whoever is their guild leader. Yeah, that's what I was talking about. Andres is that uh, Andreas? I don't Andreas. I don't know. That could be it for Agnologia. Just through the events of in the ravines of time of that's what he became, which would be pretty cool. Yeah, I was thinking that too, Yoshi, because like who else would be that powerful? I want to do a video, like a short video on my theory of how they're so powerful, because the way that the Dragon Eaters work, obviously, is they eat a dragon and they're able to get more powerful from it, and they get like significant boosts because they're integrating the dragon's power into their own body. And a way that they could have gotten as powerful as they are right now, just like so quickly, seemingly especially within the last couple years, is if they uh, if they put if they ate Actologia's arm, because Ignil ripped it off, but we don't know what happened to it. But an arm of from Actologia's caliber and then being eaten, it's like, yeah, maybe that's how they got it. Like it would make sense. It'd be weird, but it'd be something that would be like, yeah, I can see that things are coming together now. Luckily, I was worried because I have to work tomorrow, and so like I wouldn't be able to get my Black Clover chapter review out until a little bit later than I normally do, because I usually am awake when Black Clover comes out, and then I review it, and then I put it up, and then I usually go to sleep, and then like look at the responses in the morning. I should be able to do that tonight, or at least tomorrow morning, like some point in the morning, and then go to work, and then get it out so everyone can give me their opinions on it. That'd be pretty nice, because it looks like it's going to be an early release this week, because One Piece spoilers came out yesterday on a Tuesday, and usually One Piece spoilers. Oh, I hiccuped. Sorry. Usually One Piece spoilers come out on like start kind of like leaking out like late Wednesday night. So I'm guessing it's a early week this week. They have to eat dragon flesh within a certain amount of time in order to live. I hope not. That would be shitty, because then we don't know how many dragons there are left in the world. Because obviously with Acnologia gone, any dragons in hiding could be like, okay, cool, we're gonna come out now. But we don't know what that number is. We have no idea the number. It could easily kind of change things around though. We will see. We'll see how it is. Definitely kind of pulling towards that possibility of where it's gonna be at sooner or later, but not so much that I need to have it now. Like I look forward to what we find later with a lot of these kind of reveals, with a lot of these secrets that have been set up. But some of them I'm willing to wait. I really want to get to some of them, but it's gonna be cool. It's gonna be fun and satisfying with it there. I would like to know what exactly Hiromashima's gonna drop with the whole content he was talking about in that video, and where exactly machine the title of Machine World is gonna be. Is it just this collection of works? Is it gonna have to do with his connecting the series together and kind of working it all together? Uh, I have I haven't gotten back to rewatching Andres, but it's still on my list. Don't worry, I haven't forgotten about it. I have not forgotten about my Hime. I still have the bookmark. I've just been catching up on stuff, and then doing some other watches right now. But I don't worry, I still have it bookmarked. I still plan on. It's not one that I've pushed off to the side. The only recommendation series that I've pushed off right now is because one of my friends was being very rude about it. Because like me and her were trading series, like, hey, you read this and I'll watch this, and I was like, okay. And I didn't even I'd say like read the whole thing. I said, hey, give it a try. Read a handful of chapters. Read the first arc. I was talking about Toriko, and then she wouldn't even give it a try. She wouldn't even give it a try. It's like story was fun. A lot of fun action, a lot of cool designs. She wouldn't even like if it was like you read it and it's like, I don't like it. I'd be like, darn, okay, whatever. But I was like, could at least give it an attempt. That's the only one that that I've been recommended. That I've said okay. That I'm just like, I don't know if I want to finish this. Just out of frustration. I don't worry. I will get back to Mahime, Andres. Don't worry. It's about to be. I'm about to have the next few days off uh because of uh because of Thanksgiving weekend. So I'll definitely get some episodes down. I might just watch the whole thing. I might just stay up one of the days and watch the whole thing. Plus, when I go uh, for Christmas break, I've already talked about this in one of my other streams. In Christmas, I won't be doing streams for like 2 weeks or so, and I won't be making as many videos. My plan is to do a couple theory videos, and then clash profiles, and then upload them and put them on private, and then just release them at points to do. Because I won't be at my computer, and I'm not gonna try and fix up my shitty laptop to make videos when I'm off at the holidays. I think everyone understands, like, yeah, we're gonna be doing holiday stuff. Watching a stream is, my priority. You might watch a 5 minute video, every day, but yeah, you're gonna be spending a lot of time with family. So I'm gonna do a lot of Clash profile stuff that you don't have to really think too much about while you're watching. You're just like, okay, I'm watching these things presented. Okay, cool. Yeah, I'll think about this later. Um, but during that time, I'm gonna watch a ton of shows because anytime at night, it's like I don't want to do anything, but it's like I'm just gonna hang out. Sometimes I like to, because it'll be like it's like a 2 week span that I won't be at my computer at all, and I'm just gonna be hanging out with the family or watching shows, chilling, maybe having some drinks. And at that point, I'm gonna be catching up on a lot of animes. So if I haven't watched, I'll tell you this, Andres, if I haven't watched all of My Hime by that point when I go off on Christmas to visit family, I'll have watched it all by the time I get back, and definitely have some Clash profiles in mind. But I'll probably have a couple soon, definitely, because I'm trying to make the Clash profiles. I want 2 a week. That's my plan, 2 a week. I'll probably put the next one out Friday, and then the one after that might come out Monday or Tuesday. I want every like 3 or 4 days to do a Clash profile. Anyway, so that's gonna be it for this stream. Check out my other videos, like the video, the stream, and sub if you haven't. And then yeah, check you guys out for the next one. I might do a video game stream this weekend. I might try out stream.me and try and do my video game streams over there, maybe. I haven't really done anything on there yet. I just made one. But otherwise, thanks everyone for showing up. Drop any comments that you might think of later in one of my other videos. I'll probably put out one more video tonight. See what I have like set up. I'm almost out of standby videos. I'm gonna have to record a bunch this weekend. Do a couple theories. I had a couple ideas. I have some stuff I want to do. I'm gonna do a video. I'm just gonna tell you guys. I'm gonna do a video debunking the claim that Urza is a Mary Sue because it's 100% not true. And I'll tell you why in a video that hopefully I'll get to this weekend. But otherwise, thanks everyone for coming by. See you later.